We'll see how it comes down to the end, because I thought before the season, Zay, I thought Bert Auburn would have to kick a game winner in the final seconds, maybe even in the, he'd have to kick a game winner at the end of the game to win it. I'm not feeling that way anymore after watching Michigan's offense sputter and cough and struggle between the two quarterbacks. But and I wrote about this at Horns 24/7, and the defensive players for Texas sound really confident. The offensive players from Texas sound like they know they're going to get a defining challenge in this game from the Michigan defense. But I just think that this Texas team is too experienced. They're too talented. They're too deep. They're too fast. And unless Texas comes out and plays sloppy football, which I absolutely do not expect, I think Texas covers in this one.
Yeah, I've seen the line that -7, 6.5, going Texas way. I just very interesting that I think the average person around the nation would expect Michigan to be the same in a way. Like, we knew they were going to take a step back. 13 guys go to the National Football League, their whole offensive line, just so many key pieces. Their coach leaves, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Sharon Moore, he's done a good job thus far. The games that he, chipped in when Hardball was suspended, hell of a job there. But this is a different team, from their offensive coordinator being different and Kurt Campbell to their defensive coordinator being different, and Don Wink Martindale, who I get the OG that passed on game to their former defensive coordinator that went off with Jim Hardball and Jesse Minter, but it's still a different team. They got to get acclimated to those players. We forget they lost one of their big-time safeties in camp, and Ron Moore towards ACL. He's a big part of that team, one of the best safeties in the nation, a guy that came back. So, yeah, their team is different in a lot of ways. Yes, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Will Johnson, those are the dogs, and those guys can win you any game with how big of a play, they could make. But I'm right there with you, Chip. What we saw on this past Saturday against Fresno State and what we saw with Texas, I get it, it's one game, and I don't want to get over our skis too much, but Texas and the way that they're feeling right now and their swag, I think Michigan's going to have to go through some bumps in the road to try to figure out their identity. It's, again, so easy to say we could go be that same team that we were who won a national championship and beat the dog breaks out of Washington and had Michael Penix seeing ghosts, but that's just unrealistic. And Quinn Ewers coming into year 3, he's so comfortable, man. Those no-look passes, we talk about him a lot. We're going to be talking about him all year. That is a sign of a dude that is confident in himself. Like, all that Hulu, Dr. Pepper stuff, that don't seem like no fluke right now of the way that Quentin Ewers played. And low-key, it was a quiet game around the nation because so many other guys like, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe went crazy. I think people are looking at Colorado State and be like, they're just a scrub team. Quentin Ewers, yeah, he's supposed to do that thing. Okay, well, bulletin board material for you for this week. If you go out and shred this Michigan defense with all those stars that they had, people are going to be looking at Quinn Ewers in the new light, and he will leapfrog his way into the Heisman race at one of those top 3 spots. So I think this team has a very big opportunity. Again, I had this team going 9-3. I feel like what we saw from Colorado State, that's going to make your boy look stupid if they play with that same energy and swagger from week to week, and I think they're capable of doing that. So I'm trying to see the Excalibur sword all Saturday. Let me see that thing, because, again, Davis Warren, And Alex Orgy, man, they looked a little shaky. Looked like Muhammad Ali towards the end. Looked a little shaky. R.I.P. the great one. That's not what I want. If I'm Sharon Moore, that is not what I want. A shaky quarterback. And again, Davis Warren, it's hard to root against him just because we know what happened to him. You talked about it yesterday, had leukemia, beat that. Like, that's a lot for a young man. Salute to him for doing that. But he's not experienced at all. J.J. McCarthy, I feel like, played every snap last year, it seemed like. Like, Michigan still had close games, even though they went through an undefeated season on their way to a national championship. So the chess match that Sharon Moore and Steve Sarkisian are going to play, are they going to put Mo Blackwell out there more because Loveland is an absolute problem at the tight end spot? Like, it's going to be fun all week to dissect this game because there's just so many different ways that both teams could go about getting the dub, and that's what makes college football so fun.
Yeah. I mean, these are the games that Steve Sarkisian loves. And as a fan of the team that he coaches, that's so refreshing. Like, you don't wonder how your team's going to show up for big games. And I was a little surprised last year, the Texas OU game, that Texas came out, ran a play that OU ran better than Texas. It was kind of like what Anthony Hill said about the Colorado State game. Like, Colorado State ran a play that Texas had prepared for all week, and they ran it on the first play. And, Anthony Hill knifes through, kills the play. And you're just like, oh, yeah. Our coaches have got us on point. And we'll see. I mean, I don't know how much progress Michigan's offense can make in 1 week, because it looked like Sharon Moore was trying to figure it out on the fly. Maybe it's been a great week of practice. Maybe they all figure it out. Maybe, Davis Warren turns into Superman. I don't think so. It is a great story. He is a great story. Can Alex Orgy? I mean, look at what Kalen DeBoer did with Jalen Milroe in their game against Patty Whack U. I get it. But Milroe ran it 10 times for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that was the game plan, I thought, that Nick Saban and Tommy Rees would use against Texas. And Kalen DeBoer, he's making this offense work for Jalen Milroe. He is going to be a dual threat. Like, if you were playing fantasy, you want Jalen Milroe on your college football fantasy team, because what did he end up with, 5 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah, he went crazy.
He had
the good coaches do, though.
Yeah. He had 3 touchdown passes, 2 touchdowns running. And by the way, his touchdown passes to Ryan Williams were for 84 and 55 yards. Like, Jalen Milroe's got that deep ball.
Oh, Ryan Williams, that brother, 17 years old. Like, in basketball, you see it. You see, guys taking off their senior year, going playing and stuff. I know we saw it with Quinn Ewers, but Quinn Ewers ain't play. This dude, Ryan Williams, was showing out.
And he took over for Isaiah Bond. Like, Isaiah Bond was supposed to be wide receiver 1. Ryan Williams showed up, 2 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. And looked like he was having a lot of fun. Obviously, Alabama beat up on Western Kentucky. They'll find some stronger competition down the road. But, when you look across you look at Sharon Moore, what he's trying to get done with these quarterbacks, I'm I'm going to be real interested to see what he comes up with, because surely they've got stuff that they didn't show last week. But remember, this was a 16-10 game Michigan was in the fourth quarter. So
yeah, how good's Fresno State? Fresno State, the way that people are talking about them now, they're acting like this could be one of those G5 teams that makes it in the college football playoff. And they might very well be. We don't know. We'll see it down the line. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if I'm Sharon Moore, I'm not showing the damn thing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just not worth it. Your team should be good enough to win that game. It just wasn't pretty like you saw from the rest of the country, from top 10 teams, where you saw buku blowouts. Well, I want to say top 10 teams because Florida State 0-2 now. But you catch my drift here. Like, if I'm Sharon Moore, I was going completely against the grain against Fresno State. Same with Sark. Sark kept it basic.
Yeah.
Sark kept it real basic. The same stuff that you've been seeing from Steve Sarkisian, same throws that Quinn Ewers has always made in his 3 years. He made this past Saturday against Colorado State. I'm with that. You don't need to throw any type of kitchen sink at either team. You're literally paying them millions to beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
Any team that you're paying millions to, you shouldn't be showing much of that playbook. Nice and thin, like that green old playbook Denzel had in Remember the Titans. Real thin, like about 5 pages worth. That's what I'm talking about. So I feel like Sharon Moore, he's going the same way. And the whole Alex Orji, Davis Warren situation is so interesting because both of those guys need experience. It's hard to get a rhythm when you're on a platoon situation and you're coming in and out. Like Alex Orji would go 2 and out, and then here comes Davis Warren in for a 3rd and 9. That's tough. That's tough. They if you're Sharon Moore or if you're Pete Kwiatkowski, you're like, yeah, bring that on. I want a quarterback coming off the sideline for a very important 3rd and 9 down where everybody's kind of twiddling their thumbs like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I want that. So again, the chess match, it's going to be so interesting, the preparation from both coaches, because Alex Orji is going to play. He's too athletic not to, but Khalil Mullins, he could be a problem. You better wrap him up. I know Ant Hill said what he said about we love playing these run teams. All right, show me something. Show me something. And what packages are we going to see between Pete Kwiatkowski and Johnny Nansen and crew? Like, are we going to see more load the box? Are we going to see less corners and safeties? We're going to see more Mo Blackwell. Because, again, Colston Loveland, that dude's serious. That's a Sunday guy, 8+ year Sunday type player right there. Sharon Moore had the nerve at Big Ten Media Day to compare the fool to Travis Kelce. Relax, Sharon Moore. I don't know if you're sipping on that lean or that gin and juice. Like Travis Kelce, that's a big step. But Sharon Moore, it does see him every day, so I'm going to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. If you think Colston Loveland shows that Travis Kelce flashes, then PK, you better have something ready for that. Because Jalen Gilbo, as much as we love Jalen Gilbo, don't like that matchup too much. Even Davis Warren and Alex Orji can find big old Colston Loveland at the tight end spot, which they move him around too. You see him playing wide receivers, slide outside. He's not just that, organic tight end that you'll see across the country, which I think that's what Sharon Moore was referring to in the Travis Kelce comparisons. So, yeah, man, I'm so excited about this game. Like this is what it's about. And you're right, Sark, loving these moments. Your team feels that too. You can't run away from it. I don't know if Lincoln Riley, I don't know if he was playing chess, but like, oh, we don't love these games. Well, I'm trying to get rid of it. His team looked ready to me. That USC squad looked ready to me in Vegas. They didn't look like they hit the slots. Oh, LSU, the way that your boy Brian Kelly was acting in the presser chip, he was acting like those guys were on the tables. He was hot, man, hitting his Des, that water flying and stuff, the memes are hilarious, by the way.
Oh
But
my.
yeah, your players gotta be prepared, man. I think Sark, he gonna have them boys ready.